Well, the Road Runner has a new home. Well, at least for the next 30 days. Okay, so it's early July, and we are going to Louisville first weekend of August. Actually, we leave Wednesday. I don't know what that is, 3rd-ish. So this thing needs to be stripped anyway. So this winter this is my project. So let's talk about it a little bit. So this car started its life greenish. I'm going to tell some of Cam's secrets. Hope he doesn't mind. So it started its life no-sale green. That's what Cam calls it, not what I call it. So this isn't the original color, but it's close. It's somewhat. This is the newer version of that color. So then somewhere along its life, it's been a couple of different colors. I forget what all I've found underneath there because I put lower sections in the quarters back here. I put the complete trunk floor. Oh, I'm looking for my easy up. Forgot that it was back here. So I put a complete floor in back here all the way to back up in there. When we get this trunk cleaned out, I can show you at some point. Lower sections on the quarters, put the little drops that drop down on both sides. Had to do some work on the wheelhouses. There was some stuff kind of shot. So got that all taken care of. That's been quite a while ago. I think that might have been, hell, that might have been before we even started the channel. That might have been before Hindsight Engineering hit YouTube. Can't remember. Getting old. So in order to put in that trunk floor, for those of you guys that know these Mopars, you cannot fit that entire trunk floor in through the trunk opening. You have to put it in some other fashion. So I got creative. There was a lot of guys that said you couldn't do it, but I just drilled out the rear body panel underneath this bumper and just kind of bent it up and slid the trunk floor up in. So after that was done, Cam stripped all this rear body panel because it had a lot of paint on it. There's been a lot of paint on this car. So what we're going to do before Louisville is we're going to take off all this nasty orange. We're getting rid of it. We'll get rid of all that. So we got to strip the doors, strip the rockers. The front fenders we did before Power Tour 22. That was when I added another color to the car. So got the bodywork kind of roughed in on those. Hood's blasted. There's a different hood than what Cam has been running. The one that's everybody signed from Power Tour 22, and I think he had 23 also. It's going on his wall. So we left that at his house. Stripping the roof, stripping the doors, trunk lid, all the jams. As you can see, obviously, if you watch the videos and are following the car at all, Woody painted the firewall and everything before the engine went in last. So yeah, we're gonna get rid of all this orange, and we're not getting crazy. We're not pulling the windshield out yet. That's gonna be after it gets back, because it's got some issues here. I don't know if you can see in there, but this right here is probably gonna be the most challenging part of the whole car. And I say that before I strip off all the orange, so who knows what we're gonna find under here. I know there's gonna be some issues on this door over here, because there was quite a few issues on that quarter panel right there. To be honest with you, I am surprised that I was able to get it as straight as I did. It came out pretty good, but that was rough. Pretty big incident happened over here at some point in this car's life. And it probably should have had a quarter panel, but it didn't. So got a lot to do. There's some questionable stuff on this cowl on that side. You can see some filler, so I don't know what somebody's done here, but we're going to find out. So the next 30 days is just going to be strip off all the orange and epoxy prime it. We're going to epoxy prime the car, all one color for Louisville. There's a problem right here that I don't know if it's from something that was done here when I did all that work, but we got a couple of cracks here that have shown up. And to be honest with you, I can't remember what all we did in here. I don't think there was that much. I do remember I had to rebuild this corner in here because it was rusted out. And I remember looking on the inside when I had it down last time, and you could see plastic boogers sticking out on the inside where they had filled. This thing had a vinyl top when its life started. So I ground all that out. We welded all that up. I just don't remember what's going on here. So I don't know what cracked, but we need to dig into that and find out, because I'm glad it cracked while it was primed and not after it was painted. So today, first order of business, I'm just looking at the dents. Today, first order of business is let's do some tear down. Let's get the rear bumper off of it. And I got a helper coming out to help me. Let's get the rear bumper off, the front bumper off, and maybe get this filler panel off, because I want to get it stripped. And I'm not sure what Cam is reusing here. I know he got a new grill shell, but I don't know what all that included. So, but we need to get some of this stuff off, because obviously I don't want to strip that on the car. And we're not going to take much else off. We're going to take the door handles out and the lock cylinders. I'm not taking belt moldings off. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I can strip up to there pretty good, and we'll just mask that off on this go around. I'm going to take this windshield trim off and this drip rail trim off, because I don't want to mess up this windshield trim. It's a little rough in spots, been sanded and stuff, but that'll polish out, and it's in decent shape. I don't want him to have to buy that. He's going to have to get a windshield rubber, and I think he's getting new glass front and rear. He ordered the rear glass when I did the quarter panel work, because it's really scratched up in places beyond repair. But it was on back order at the time, and I think they ended up canceling his order. So I don't know if it's available now or not, but he will find out. So basically, the Road Runner continues, but it's only in here for a partial. Let's get this thing tore down a little bit. Bumpers are off. So Mopar bumpers, Road Runner bumpers, are simple. I mean, super simple, right? Back one was off in a few minutes. Front one should have been off in a few minutes too. Because see, really, the brackets bolt to the bumper, and then you bolt the brackets to the rail, right? Right there. Easy squeezy. Till some guy comes along who thinks he's an engineer for an automotive company and puts this between the bracket. So when you go to take it off, you can't just pull it off just like normal. No. Guy, you know who you are. You missed your calling as an automotive engineer. Next step, all the windshield moldings off. Got these tricky little clips, and not that they're tricky, they make a tool for it, but these are a little bit different, and it's very hard to hook the ends of them to get them off. And that's a pretty delicate molding, so you got to be careful what you're doing there. Got it off without any damage. Lower one wasn't on it, so I don't know if Cam has that one or not, but got the windshield wipers off and the drip rail moldings off. We're going to need to find him some new ones of those, because they are rough. But it's all right. We'll get it taken care of. All right. As far as tear down, some trim. Probably take those vent moldings off. Road Runner emblems. Let's get those handles off. Lock cylinders. Little marker lights. God, I wish you would have let me weld those up when we were doing that. And back glass trim. Get that off of there. Gotta see if I hope he's going back, since he's leaving all the other trim on it. I hope he's putting the rocker moldings back on. It's got all the holes there. I can't remember, to be honest with you, what we put in down there. I don't remember. But either way, we need to pop some new holes in it probably. And so he could get that all together. Looking good. Let's keep going. If this filler panel were a tree, I don't know how many years old it'd be, but it'd be a lot. Look at those layers. I don't know how many. Are those all paint colors? There's some wild ass looking colors in there. Like a bright turquoise in there. I don't know. There's a lot. Door handles off, lock cylinders out. Road Runner nameplate's off. The stripping has begun. If the rest of this car is like that front filler panel, which I'm assuming it is, there's a lot of paint under here. Let's get to ripping this orange off here. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you I never put, a bunch of mud into places, but I just ripped a whole bunch of body filler out of here, and if you can catch it just right, I don't know why they did it that way. I thought I was gonna find something super stupid here, but to me, the super stupid part was, why didn't you pull that out before you started filling it and save yourself a whole bunch of time and trouble? And there's the front edge of the door. I was afraid we were gonna run into some of this stuff, but this thing had filler from here all the way over here, and I don't know, not sure why they would have done it like that. But guess what? Where it's like that on one side, it's like that on the other. So who knows what we're going to find here, but there's a lot of something going on here. Let's keep digging. Cowl is all stripped. Looking pretty good. Still not figuring out why they had all that filler here. Don't know. Couple little low spots, but nothing big. I don't know. Anyway, did some more digging over here. Well, something going on there. Looks like they had welded up some holes for the mirror. I don't know if this mirror that I pulled off is the original mirror or not, but dug on these cracks back here, and I'm happy to say that whatever cracked is below the orange. So it wasn't something that from the last time it was here. It was something down below the orange. So we're going to take it all off and see what gives and get all that out of there. It looks like there's some primer. It almost looks like etch primer down there. I don't know. But it cracked down deep. You can see it. It cracked at the metal. So it's down there. The buildup is pretty good right here. So anyway, that'll all come off. So gonna keep digging. Nothing too bad yet. Although now that I'm looking, so I took these windshield moldings off. That in there looks like filler. So I don't know. I can see some stuff going on up here if you look real close. And you can kind of see it all along here too. Not so sure what's going on there, but we're gonna find out. And yeah, we're gonna dig into that. More to come. Well, we're starting to see some metal on this door. Just some random filler around the door handle. I don't know. Miscellaneous places down by the body line. Skim coats and stuff. Got a couple of good sized dents up here that we take care of, but ain't worried about any of that stuff right now. Let's just get all this old crap off. This is where I ended last night. Time to start on the roof. Got a little help coming out today. So this spot here, where I can see the filler in the inside in there, for some reason they just put the filler in there. I thought I was going to find something ugly right here. Nothing. So, see what the rest of this roof holds. Making messes still. Moving and shaking though. But wanted to document this spot. There's always this little dent right here. And I think it always bothered Cam that I didn't fix it when I fixed these quarters. And if it didn't bother Cam, it bothered me because I should have done it. And now I'm glad I didn't get into it at that time because, wow, I've been digging for a while and I'm still digging. Whew. I guess they didn't have a stud gun. And even then, I don't know why you need it because you can access this by opening the trunk. I don't get it. Uh-oh. What kind of a can of worms are we opening here? Oh well. Let's tear the lid open. So somebody in the lifetime of this car, when they were doing some work on it, wrote something on what looks like etch primer. But I can't read it. I tried to take it off once I realized it was words. I tried to take it off gently, but I still can't read it. I don't know what it says. Would have been nice. I'm sure it was something funny. Probably came from a group of friends like ours, so I can imagine what it said. So if I remember right, when I did the work on this thing years ago, I stopped somewhere in here, right above this body line, is where the quarter pieces went in. And if I remember right, I feathered into their work because I started getting into this layer of filler and we didn't want to go into no man's land at the time. So I feathered the seam at their work. So I think that orange is probably going to stop. So all this stuff is stuff that was under the orange. So we're going to keep digging and see how far. Could you be any louder out there? Jesus. Anyway, we're going to keep digging and get all that stuff taken out. I don't want to take any chances with what's under here. I don't want to spend all this time and effort working on this car and then something later become a problem under what, under this stuff here. So it's better now just to dig it all out, take it out, start from scratch. So I'm going to have to dig right down to basically where I feathered it in. I'm sure I overlapped some of this orange. I probably roughed it up and just overlapped the orange. So we're going to dig down into there some too. And just kind of start fresh. There's no sense in doing all this and then having a problem later because of something we just buried. Let's dig it all up now and be done. Well, most of the orange is gone. Oh, really? Now you show up. Thanks. Appreciate all your help. Still got a little roof to do, but I got the rockers tonight, knocked out the quarter. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of orange going away. So, got these rockers, or this rocker taking care of this door. Basically, knock out the roof, and pretty much all the orange is gone. Really, all I'm going to do, tear down wise, additional, is get those out on both sides. This quarter's already been stripped a long time ago, and it's well, it's under there. So I think after that, I'm going to knock down these fenders. Just give them a buzz, probably some 180, 150, something like that. And probably go over the whole thing with the same, some 150 on a regular small DA. And Whew. We'll be ready to prime. Not a whole lot of big surprises. I mean, this door I knew was going to be not good in this area because, like I said, it's had some issues in here before. But it's really better than I thought. So I expected worse compared to what I'd found on that quarter. So let's get this roof stripped and get everything else knocked down with some 180, 150. Still got a hood to battle with. But we're getting there. We are getting there. Forgot to talk about the trunk lid. As you noticed, it was off. So I started stripping this edge of the trunk lid, and it took forever to do that edge. So I don't know what it is about this paint on the trunk lid, but it is tough. So I had sanded a lot of this just to break it open. And this stripper that I got, it's only touching this side. So I'm going to let it sit overnight. And this is the side that I'd already roughed up. So I'm going to let it sit overnight and see what it looks like in the morning. But man, that's some mean stuff, whatever that is. Well, yesterday I spent the day with Shandog. Had a great day, but now it's back to work. So if you really want to humble yourself sometime in your life, strip a trunk jam that has, I don't know how many layers of paint in it. Just do that. And yeah, that'll humble you. Cam had already stripped this panel down here, so it's just etch primed. That was fun. It was pretty crusty in the corners. I got it all cleaned out. I think we're good to go. I don't see any problems. Get it blown out real good and double check it. But I think that's it for that. We can check that off the list. You know, there's a few other things to do, so better keep rolling. And this trunk lid is kicking my butt. This is probably the 6th coat of stripper. Man, this stuff is thick. I don't know what was on it, but there's a lot of it, and it's tough. Let's just say that. It's tough. Yeah. Hopefully this will be the last go around. If I don't get this back edge, I'll sand that. But God, I want to get all the orange off this top. It's a mess. Hopefully it's going to come out all right, though. Time will tell. The bastards even got to the quarter trim. This trim that goes around those fake vents in the quarter panels. There's filler in there. Let's dig it out and see what they're covering up. Maybe it's justified. More progress. Not done, but more progress. Got the right quarter sanded down. I went ahead and sanded that quarter down with 150. Finished cleaning up the rocker. Just clean up stuff. I had it mostly stripped. Same with the door. Sanded the fender. Went ahead and sanded that with 80. It was some... I did the body work on that before we went Power Tour 22, before we took off out there, and it was roughed in. I mean, roughed in. So, big old sand scratches. It was ugly, really, is what it was, but it was roughed in. So, knocked that down with 80, cleaned up around the front some. This side's pretty good. I think we may be about ready on the side. Still got the roof. I'm waiting for my helper to finish that. So I kind of started that back corner back there and just have kind of been working my way around. So tomorrow I will finish up, or start out on this side and work my way back. Doing the same thing. I'll 80 this fender. Go back over this door with 80 small DA. Same with the quarter. I'll clean up down there a little bit. I need to clean up here a little bit. The other side I went ahead and stripped all in the drip rail. I'll do the same thing to this side. Clean that all up. Clean up along the top. Come along here. Hopefully tomorrow evening I'll be able to get this side knocked out, and maybe by then my helper will have this roof done. And then I'll work back around, clean up this rear body panel. I got the Plymouth taken off, got the trunk cylinder, box cylinder pulled out. Getting there. And this is still kicking my butt. Got to be coat number 7 of stripper. We keep moving. She's looking good. Got everything kind of, I don't know, knocked down, I would say. Still waiting for my helper to finish the roof. Boy, good help's hard to find. Anyway, we're looking good. I think we should be priming soon. I think this is supposed to get finished tomorrow, this being the roof. Everything else is knocked down and ready to roll. A lot of masking. But I'm hoping to shoot some primer this coming weekend. Might finish that out just a little bit more. But everything else is looking pretty good. I might put the hammer and dolly on that a little bit because that is rough. Ugh. Anyway, finally kicked this thing's butt. Jeez, I bet you that I put 8 coats of stripper on that thing. And it still wasn't all off there. I finally took the sander to it. I mean, it came off pretty easy because all that was left was some undercoating, undercoats, some kind of primer. And the stripper never really did touch this back edge, and I put a lot of it on there. I just finally put it out in the sun today so it would dry and just sanded all that crap off. So I don't know what was on there. I'm guessing maybe some Centauri or something. I don't know. The stuff was like a rock. Glad to see it off there. Anyway, got the tail panel scuffed. Yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to roll, minus the roof. Let's get some primer on this thing soon. Oh, it's looking good. We're done stripping. We are down to metal everywhere we need to be down to metal. Oh, I like it. Only had really one thing today. I didn't notice it, but after Bryson got done stripping the roof, and you can see it, it's still kind of a dark spot right there. There was a solid rust spot that was thick. I'm going to put a little rust mort on it. It's the stuff I got from O'Reilly's. Let's see what it is. This right here. It's a neutralizer. So I'm going to brush some of that on, let it sit overnight, knock it back down. It worked good. I used that on the roof of Jeff's truck when I did that truck. Wow, it had heavy rust buildup, and I ground and sanded and sanded and ground. Got it away as much as I could and used some of that on it, and it has not been an issue. We're years down the road now, so I trust it. So that's where we're at. Maybe just a little more cleanup on the grill, cow grill. But other than that, it's a little hammer and dolly here and there as best I can. And put this thing in some epoxy primer, which is what it needs before it starts doing anything weird. Hood's taken care of. This is epoxy primer on the hood because this hood was blasted. And it was a little rougher than what I remember. It's going to be a lot of work on this hood. But this hood needs to be on this car, so that's the way it's going to be. So yeah, let's get to cleaning it up. I blew it off once. I'm gonna let the shop settle down, then I'm gonna clean up. I'll blow it off again and then wipe it all down real good and then start masking. Let's get this thing turned white. This is the last time the Road Runner will be seen multicolored. Let's make this thing white. Last walk around. Getting ready to mix and spray. Now, I'll tag it off first. Ding, ding. I'll spray these lower parts and probably spray up to tops of the fenders. I'll get the cowl screen, spray the top here, probably stop somewhere around in here. And then I'll probably put 2 coats on that lower and everything, and then I'll drop the lift down. I was gonna do it as I went, and I was gonna start with it all the way on the ground because I always like to start at the roof and work my way down. But my lift is acting up. It's struggled to, I don't know if there's something up with the pump, fluid level, what. I didn't have time to mess with it, but I struggled to get it up this high. So we're gonna leave it and we're gonna do everything and then drop it down, and I'll spray the roof and the upper last. So trunk lid, hood, a couple miscellaneous, the quarter bent pieces. I think we'll be good to go. All right, be back when it's white. It's white. Let's take a quick walk around. Looking good. Still flashing off, I think. So I think it'll flatten out more than what it is now, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. I just opened the garage door just to get some air movement because it was pretty stagnant in here and pretty foggy. So out it went. I'll take a couple more shots when I get it unmasked and get it back together.